Oh my goodness.
What's that?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Welcome aboard. It's a call aboard.
It
Yes.
is a
Call aboard.
It is a triumphant return.
Oh
Yes.
my
of
goodness.
Call aboard.
It's been a while since we've done a call aboard because
It's been 7 hours and 13 days since you took call aboard away.
Oh. Well, we are back with call aboard. It's a very special call aboard, though.
It is. And by the way, if you could hear us, let us know.
Yes. Let us
And
know.
also a very good reason that it has been a while.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been busy with other stuff, notably our top 20s.
Yeah, and it's been. I want to take a moment also just say thank you everyone for tuning in. We've had such good engagement and so many great conversations happening as we've been running these top 20s. Special thank you as well to Arwen, to Brian, to Danielle, to Mr. Rao, who were all part of that series, and it was really great to collaborate and work with everyone to put that together. So in total, all of those top 20s, were a ton of fun. But those top 20s are not what we're talking about tonight.
No.
We're talking about your top 20s.
The penultimate
Yes.
callers top 20.
Yeah, the callers top 20. Now, just for people tuning in, wondering how we did this and exactly what the system was, on our Discord, we put out the survey and everyone was able to put in their top 20, whoever wanted to participate, and in doing that top 20, what we did from that point forward, once we had all the submissions, we put a ranking system in place based on number ones were worth 20 points, all the way down to number 20s were worth 1 point.
Yes.
So with that, we were able to determine amongst, it was over 200 different games.
I thought it was more.
It was two. Oh God, it was, yeah. If you pull up a chart to check for sure, but it was more than 200, on its way to 300. It was not quite 300, I don't believe.
Okay.
Double check. I might be wrong on that.
It was a total of 271 unique titles.
Yes.
Wowzers.
271 unique titles you put in. Now, there was crossovers. You did have crossovers, as you're going to see, that some of these did get a little bit more in the points categories than others. But
so it's a matter of which one of us three are the voice of the
Wait.
callers.
So number 20 is what? Just one person's 20 or the one that got the 20th most amount of points?
20th most amount of points.
Okay.
yes.
So how are they assigned to people?
Great question, Ryan. You can
Thank
answer
you.
that one.
Well, I made it all up.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. So what I did was I wanted to make sure we had a unique caller, a unique entry per. So I went down the list and just found like where this game would rank in that person's ranking.
Yep.
Now the funny thing is like the number one rated game that we have is actually like at highest, like around the 9s or the 8s.
Okay.
But most people really enjoyed it, so that's why it got number
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Overall,
Okay.
in the
That's why number one is Eric Buscemi's number 9.
right. And what's cool about it is you see, many members of our community here and, some of their tastes, but we will be able to jump into this shortly with number 20, but I will take a moment to say two things very quickly. With Call Aboard, one thing that we're doing at this point, just kind of to streamline and make the process really effective, and make everyone feel good about that process. We are going to ask people to join the Discord for future Call Aboard shows. If you're a member of a Discord, it allows us to verify actual human being, all these good things, and then we're able to easily have a very smooth process for bringing people.
We're doubling
in.
down on our stance of AI.
Yes, we're doubling down, protecting against the machines. But
man, like imagine that. Remember, like in Terminator 2, where like they like, what's the dog's name? Max.
Oh, yeah.
How's Wolfie? That's like what's going on right now.
Your foster parents are
Like,
dead.
oh my God,
Like, what's my favorite board game?
yeah.
It's Monopoly.
Oh.
Oh, Monopoly's great, honey. Monopoly's just
Oh man, but that is
That would be awesome. Sure, we could play Monopoly tonight.
they call
Your
it
wife is
conductors
dead.
are dead.
Oh Lord.
regardless, that's going to be the process that we're working with. So I want people to be aware of how we're doing that. Slightly different, but it was one thing that we wanted to do just to kind of make sure that this could grow effectively. Secondly, if you are on this list and you want to call in, we'll be able to go right into your numbers. We're going to start with number 20 and go through, but it is call aboard. So we encourage you to call in and be part of the show, and looking forward to hear you talk about your game if you see it on this list here. So
look at Dan. Dan's number 2 is the number 2. That's
Yes.
kind of awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, Dan's number 2 is number 2.
Well done. Well done.
This
This is cool. I'm excited.
is it any?
Yes.
You know, you
this
get to
is
see,
very
like,
different.
Yeah,
I like
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
I like it.
So, all right. Well, let's go on to our number 20, which is Sarah Reed's number 2.
all right.
Now, I remember this one because it was also on my list.
By the way, can we point out?
Yeah.
Anthony, I have some idea of what's on this top 20
Mhm.
because I had to go through and calculate things. You had to put this together. Anthony has no clue.
Okay.
So this is just so everyone knows.
So-
Anthony has no
Yes,
idea about
these
this
are your
top 20.
genuine reactions, not staged.
So my recommendation is this, because there are going to be some crossovers.
Sure.
Whoever has the highest number in the crossover will be the lead talking about it, and
Right.
Yeah,
then move forward
Yeah.
sure.
to the next person. All right, ready? Number 20, Sarah Reed's number 2 is the classic Dominion.
Yeah.
Also my number 13 of all time. Dominion is a deck building game published in 2008. It is, sorry, not a deck building game.
The-
it is
the
deck-
original.
deck building game. You know, like this is the original recipe that kickstarted it all.
Yes, many, many, many games that have come since then are standing on the shoulders of this as a standalone mechanic. It is now
Yeah.
often used as one of several mechanics in games, and some not so much. Some are just strictly deck building with
Yeah.
a little bit more.
For sure.
But you're right. You cannot have that conversation without mentioning Dominion.
So everyone here's played Dominion, right?
Yes.
Right. I remember when Dominion came out. I was really starting up in the hobby again around that time, and I think it was at the same time that Intrigue and Seaside were both like right
Yes.
right back and forth. And I just bought both, and I bought the base Dominion, and I was blown away by how good Dominion is. Like Dominion,
I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
I did it almost in that exact order.
Yeah.
Honestly,
it was such like a fresh of breath air, and you just want to get back and play it.
Breath
you know,
of fresh air.
breath of fresh
You
air.
said a fresh
You
breath
inhaled when
air.
you were supposed to exhale.
Is that how breathing works this whole time? I'll figure out how words and breathing works in a moment, but I do want to highlight Dominion is also the game. I think I have over 1,000 plays on it because of the online implementations. I'm talking before the official online ones. There was like a site where you could play Dominion, where Adonex would even throw like some sample cards and stuff on there too. And man, it was, oh man.
You have the
Really
new
good.
app too?
Oh yeah.
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 I play the snot
Yeah.
out of Dominion on
It's
the
so
app.
good.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
This is one of those games that I'd like to try the new content. I've played all the like some of the original stuff,
Yeah.
but I have not played with any of the new. And I know they keep pumping out stuff for Dominion, so I'd be very.
There's
intrigued.
a lot. And
And they're still coming.
there's arguably too much.
I
but
assume-
it is
No,
still
but
coming.
it's still fresh.
I know.
I just got one of the latest expansions. Where the Plunder is over there. Allies is over there. I'll get to them.
I like that you're pointing at the floor.
Well, that's where they are.
I know.
Allies. Well, you know,
You're there.
There's a pile. There's a pile. But that was number 20, Dominion. Chris,
Excellent.
what do you think about Dominion?
I liked it. I
Mm,
liked it, but keep in
mhm.
mind I played other deck builders
Mm-hmm.
before I played Dominion.
Okay.
So the original, like I played the core Dominion
Mhm.
stuff, and I probably was less impressed at the time only because I had not played it first.
Yeah.
I had played stuff that had been refined what Dominion had done.
I was gonna
Sure.
ask, do you remember what like the first deck building game you played was?
I'm gonna guess for you is Legendary.
Legendary was one of the first that I
Yeah.
played, yes. And I did like Legendary, and then I met Marvel Champions. But yeah. So I liked it. I didn't love it, but I thought it was good. So, but I would like to play more of it with the new stuff, to be honest.
Let's play with the new stuff.
Yes.
By the way, Arwen did ask, because Anthony, you have no idea
I have no idea.
what this list is.
What
you have a
is it?
guess as to
I
what
don't
number
even know
one's
what's
going to be?
going on. Guess for number one? Oh my God.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You know, when this list is done, there's been one game that's not on this list. I'm surprised to not make the list.
There's a few that surprised me, I will say.
All
And
right.
there's a few that surprised me that are on the list.
Tyler thinks he knows what Vincent's game is going to be. So that's number 19.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Well, hit us with your guess in the
Vincent's
chat
number
before
Yeah,
we reveal.
what? Yeah, before you reveal, Tyler, what do you think?
All right, I'll preface it like this. None of us in this room have played it.
Okay.
Okay.
But it is a crossover with one of the top 20s.
Oh.
Danielle's probably.
And it is for sure
Oh, yes.
Ashes Reborn.
Oh.
Oh, it's not even saying here, but it's Mr. Rao's number 1.
Okay, yeah.
It's my bad. But that's Ashes Reborn, Rise of the Phoenix Born.
Which on the Discord is it is one of the most active channels.
Yeah.
There's constantly conversation,
Mhm.
and we only have a few game official channels just because they kind of have to be gets played a lot clearly, and
Right. You're not going to have it if the
Yeah.
conversation's not there to be had.
but this one
I don't know. We have an Arkham Horror channel. No one's really using it.
Oh, really?
And a G.I. Joe deck building game channel that has been
Well,
fallen.
I was going to say, that probably was hopping for a
It
while.
was hopping for a while.
That-
Good.
but to that point, Ashes Reborn always hopping. Always see conversation. I'm following along just because I'm interested in what's happening in there, and it's been really neat to see just how much everyone seems to love playing this game, and everything I've learned about it seems like a game that would be fun to play, and we need to do it because none of us have done it yet.
Yeah, I definitely want to play it. And this is this edition was like the second edition.
Right.
So I do definitely, but the great thing is like it's not like second edition. You have to throw away everything from the first. They actually have upgrade kits, which is super nice. So yeah, Ashes Reborn, Plaid Hat Games. Definitely want to try it. And yeah, it is hopping on our Discord. And I feel like we have like a small, I don't know, like a small subset of that Ashes Reborn community in our Discord.
Yeah, we do. But we have a prediction. I think number 1 is Quacks.
Oh, there you go.
But well liked, but not number 1 for many. And I mean, I won't reveal what number 1 is. I will say that is part of this. Is the game? The game does not have to be number 1 for anyone, and it could still be number 1 because it just has to be well loved in that sense. So it is possible.
And then what we got? Ashes Reborn is so good, especially solo. Yeah, there's the solo mode.
Yeah.
Which the name of that is escaping my mind. But I know
We need
Red
Mr.
Rains. I forget which one includes the solo mode.
We got enough people in here.
There's someone that will tell us.
Someone will tell us the answer.
All right. I saw Rachel in the chat.
Red
Rachel's
Rains.
number 1.
Correct.
Red
Red
Rains.
Rains.
Yep.
You know, like the what's that Peter Gabriel song, right? Red
Sledgehammer?
Rains. Well, there's also Sledgehammer too.
Shot the monkey.
Shot the monkey, yes. So Rachel's number 1 is a crossover with people. I'll let you guys talk about it.
Oh man.
Oh, it's not. I lied. It's just one.
It is
I'm
just
completely wrong.
Yeah, just one.
Hey, Rachel.
Just one sitting here at number 18. Just one, however, though, the one thing I can say about this, it's one of those games that I can teach quickly, put on the table with anyone, and they could have never play games almost ever.
Yeah.
To be people who love playing board games, and this tends to be a hit, regardless. And so I loved that this was on here. It's one of those games too that even winning, it's like you're really just trying to do as best as possible. You know, it's more than anything. It's
You don't have to keep score.
No, you don't have to keep score. I mean, you're supposed to wait until 13.
13 cards was set aside.
Yeah.
Got to count how many got right, how many got wrong. I taught this not that long ago to a group of like, I don't know, 9, 10, 11-year-olds.
Oh, cool.
For the first time, like I never interacted with them before that.
Yeah.
That was like our first dynamic together, and it went over pretty well. There was a couple of kids who were a little like apprehensive about spelling things,
Sure.
correctly or whatever. But we played through the whole pile, and they were engaged the entire time. It was a good success. I'm curious if they want to play it again.
I think you can let the spelling go with the younger audience
well,
too, and
obviously,
that's
I wasn't like grading them, but
no, I know, but I'm just saying. I think that's one of
Imagine-
the.
I'm sorry, that says.
Imagine like the English
Belgium.
teacher edition,
Yeah.
putting like carrots and
But I think that's one of the
Moops.
moops. Yeah, the moops.
So sorry, the card says moops.
But I think that's one of the reasons it works so well because you have that flexibility in how you do it. It almost encourages you to house rule.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of like, that's okay in this game, right? It's not where something happens in some other game and you have to go in the rule book and be like, oh man, what happens when the person does this and does it?
Oh yeah,
it's just.
What's
there.
the tiebreaker? No, you don't have to worry
And,
about that.
it really does borderline on activity as
Mhm.
well, which I think is good for what the audience said it's for. To your point,
Yeah. And Rachel's saying it's the only #1 badge on BGA she'll ever get. She plays it almost every day. Arwen's a big fan of Just One.
nice.
Mitchell Memories, I truly love that this is a generational game that you can play with such a wide range of people. And Just One was my #1.
Hey,
as well. Look at that. See?
802, real quick. The other thing that does come up sometimes, and this could be with younger folks too, but sometimes someone might not know what the word is. That's
Yes.
the clue. And all you do is say, just pick another number.
Just do another number.
Right? And then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, never mind. Look at this one. You have 5 on each card. You're not going to like run through the whole deck
Right.
by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're
solid
fine.
pick.
Yeah, totally fine.
Yeah. Just One.
Just One at number 18.
All right. Number 17. That's Mitchell Memories, #2.
Yeah, we got Kristen on the board here. So I will say this. It was interesting. I really enjoyed seeing people's lists
Mm-hmm.
because I've played with a good group of at least more than 50% of the people I've played a lot of board game arena games with.
Mhm.
So it was very interesting seeing kind of what fell into their top 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can jump
Can I
right
guess
into.
on this one?
Oh, you want to guess?
Is it a 2-player only game?
No, up to 4.
Then never mind.
Oh, okay. It's similar to a 2-player only game. And I'll tell you this. All right, it was on my top 20 in 2023. That
I
was
wouldn't
Barenpark.
She gives a great clue.
Great
Great game,
game,
horrible
horrible
insert.
There you go. Yeah.
For sure.
I probably
Oh.
would have guessed it if you said that actually.
Yes.
Before.
And there it is.
Yeah,
That's
it's been a while since I
Barenpark.
played this.
You should
really
you,
fun.
Yeah, I think you should take
Mhm.
point on this one just because you're the one who introduced
Yeah,
me to Barenpark.
I could bring it up.
And yeah, for me, like I said, you introduced me to it, and the joke of
what'd
the
you think?
insert's real bad.
Yeah, the answer's
That's what you said to me. So coming off what she said the insert's really bad in this, but the game is great. I'm like, how bad could the insert be? And then you open the box. So
Yeah, the insert's pretty atrocious for Barenpark, but insert atrociousness aside,
Sure.
it's a fantastic tile laying game. Yeah, I'm always between Patchwork and Barenpark for my favorite tile layers. Before it was Barenpark, now it's back to Patchwork, I feel like. But if you want to do that Patchwork kind of game with a higher player count, you definitely want to do Barenpark.
Sure.
Yep.
Definitely include the achievements. That makes the game a lot more interesting and gives it a lot more teeth, right?
what about the expansion?
I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
I have it, and I have a way better Etsy purchased insert ready to go
For both?
for both.
Nice.
It's all ready to
There you
go. Barenpark, all in one box. This was designed by Phil Walker Harding,
The man himself.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
big fans of
and
Good old
Clemens
PWH.
Franz to the art, which Clemens Franz does a lot of Uwe Rosenberg style games. So, yeah, Barenpark.
Rachel was saying, I feel the expansion completes the game.
Don't say this because I still haven't and I haven't played it.
Well-
I still love it. Maybe it'll be #1.
What
now
does it
for
do?
me.
Do you know?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. There's the grizzly bears,
Mhm.
which I believe you could trade in some tiles to get the larger grizzly bear tiles.
Okay.
So they're like the larger orange kind of ones.
More of the.
But the more exciting thing, friend, monorails. Monorails. Yeah. So there's monorails now added in
So
it.
you're like connecting the monorails? on
Yeah,
the track
and
of the monorail?
so there's there's pillars you set up for the monorails, and they stack in
Oh, man.
denominations. Like they start at level 10 the monorail,
Now I want the
9,
expansion.
and
too.
they hang on, and you could keep going, but you have to make them in L format. So you go 2 this way, then you go this way, then you go this way, then
Okay.
you go this way, and you just have them draped over your park
Wow.
as
Wow.
little monorails of
That's
joy.
cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds
So monorails.
Busted open. We got a lot of games to play.
It's over there. We do have a lot of games to play. All right. That was Barenpark, number 17. Great choice. Oh yeah, there's another board too. Right. There's the exit board as well too. So you know how in Barenpark you have to have like 4 squares of tiles.
Yeah.
Now there's a 5th one. That's the exit. So
yeah,
it completes it. Yeah, and you have to play it out with the grizzly bears too. So yeah. All right, number 16 is Rob's number 5.
Yep.
Peliquin 17.
Fly, Peliquin.
Crokinole.
Bum.
how happy were you to see this one in there?
I agree. So Rob was saying on the Discord, this should have been number 1 or been a lot higher. I'm like, yeah, should have been a lot higher. Should have, Anyways, 5 is still too low. It was my number 4 of all time. Crokinole is the fantastic dexterity game that nothing else compares to it. Well, I mean, there's a lot of There's a lot of comparisons.
I was gonna say,
But
Pale-
unlike
they pale in
unlike
comparison.
Dominion, right? Unlike Dominion, where it's such an old game that, or it's like a vanilla kind of thing, and there's so
Yeah.
many more out there. There's so many more dexterity games past Crokinole, but something
Well,
about
Uncredited-
Crokinole is so
Uncredited did a great job on this.
Oh yeah, Uncredited too. 1876,
Public domain.
So yeah, I actually don't really know much about the history of Crokinole. I know there's a shut up and sit down video about Crokinole where they make like a really fake newsreel looking thing of it, but it's not.
I like Arwen's comment on this, by the way, because I think this kind of nails the
I hate
quality.
dexterity games. I absolutely adore Crokinole. Yeah, I get that.
I need to play.
We played it.
I have not played this game.
Really?
No,
Really.
I thought we did it on the 24-hour long
You might have,
live
but I wasn't
stream.
here
No,
the
with
whole
you.
time.
It wasn't.
we could check.
Oh, we did
if any-
Regicide during that.
Yeah,
did.
We did
You
Regicide.
read
Yeah.
aside with the
With the rock and roll cards.
yeah.
That I remember.
Yeah.
Well, I got Crokinole.
Yeah. I know.
Well, don't.
It's the only game in my board game collection that is not in this room, and it's proudly in my living room.
Oh, by the way, look at
And
that.
and Danielle just
Oh,
ordered her first board.
there you go.
Now the question is, did you order it from Crokinole Game Boards? Did you do Crokinole.ca? Did you do a Muzzy board? There's so many boards out there. Riley's in the chat. What is this?
Oh.
Curious to try it. Not a big dexterity games person either. So here's the thing about dexterity games. I didn't think I was a dexterity game person. I know, crazy, because I love them now.
I was gonna
Right?
say.
But one of the earliest dexterity games I ever played was this game called Dungeon Fighter. And Dungeon Fighter, I hated. Still do. I still really dislike Dungeon Fighter. And after playing Dungeon Fighter, I thought dexterity games were just not for me. And then I played Meeple Circus, and I had such a good time with Meeple Circus. And I played Junk Art. I had such a great time with Junk Art. Pitch Car, loved it. Crokinole, the best. The best. So yeah.
A lot of chatter in here, by the way. Rachel's noting, I imagine some Canadian lumberjacks designing this while waiting out a snowstorm.
Oh yeah.
And that's
Ask for a board for upcoming 50th. What?
not a bad.
There's no way you're upcoming 50. Come on, Dr. J. Come on. No way. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Arwen has
Yeah, see?
thoughts on Dungeon
See?
Fighter as
Thank you,
well.
Arwen. I gotta work on that bracelet to send you too. So that reminds me. Crokinole.
By the way, since Riley is in the house, we should note, Riley, look at number 8
Oh, yeah,
on
number
this
8.
board, man.
Number 8 is Riley's pick.
And our friendly reminder, if you would like to call in and talk about your game, you're more than welcome to. You see where they're coming up here on the board as well. So you have a good idea of where we are going.
Yeah, and I see there's one in the wings right now. If you want to hold on, and when we get to yours, I'll pull you on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You let me know
Yeah.
in the private chat if you need to bounce.
Yeah.
But it looks like you're ready to go. So
Number 15,
Philly Venkman is my friend Josh.
whose actual response was "Ugh, Discord."
Yeah,
But that is
it was
Discord name.
because he hates Discord.
Yes, because I asked the forum, just so everyone knows, asked for the Discord name, and this is the only one that didn't have it. But
I pulled it up.
you pulled it up.
I pulled it up.
I love
I'm a
it.
good friend, Josh, and Josh is a great friend for
Josh is
filling
a
it
great-
out and going to the Discord to do so.
Yes,
So,
and he
thank
is
you.
on the Discord, so he qualified to do this all. Yeah, let's bring it up.
So it's Burgle Bros. And I put Burgle Bros series because 1 and 2 win this.
I actually want to, and I will even qualify that further by saying all the responses that mentioned this basically mentioned both.
Yeah.
So everyone qualified it as a series. It wasn't like one said 1, one said 2. Really, it was everyone kind of was grouping it together. And to me, this one made sense.
Have either of you played Burgle Bros 1 or 2?
No, because you keep saying we're going to play it.
Oh, let's do it right now. Okay. This is actually my setup.
Stream is canceled.
So, that's my 3D printed tower, and I brought it over to the first PAX Unplugged for Josh to try out. And I figure, why
don't you bring PAX Unplugged this year?
I could.
This would get great attention at the table.
All right, so Burgle Bros is very much Ocean's 11, the board game. You're pulling off a heist, okay? And the whole goal is to collect different treasures and escape on a helicopter in Burgle Bros 1. In Burgle Bros 2, you're performing a casino heist. And the very similar things, you're trying to get specific goals and escape with them, but not necessarily escape, because the type of thing you might be stealing has to may give you different rules. So like you might be leaving with like Siegfried and Roy's tiger, so you might need a different way to escape. So in this game, it's a cooperative game where it's on 3 different levels, and the game doesn't come with this tower, except for Burgle Bros 2, which comes with a tower for a 2-level story tower. But it doesn't come with this. You have to play with each thing left to right, and I hate that because I feel like having a tower for this game is essential, because specific traps that you fall into have to deal with directly above and down below. Like you might fall into like an atrium trap where the guard, if you're on the atrium spot, can look directly above them or directly below them. Or more straightforward, you need to go up and down stairs. And when you go upstairs, you come in on the same spot that you would come up going up. Right. So, not having that those 3 levels there kind of you kind of get out of the immersion of it.
Sure.
And you're really sucked in when it's in a tower.
I love this way that it's presented here, that you have it with the 3D print that you did.
Yeah.
I think it's just really neat to look at.
And after I finished this, I really didn't 3D print anything else after, because I hated the experience so much. Oh my gosh, 3D printing is such a...
That's why you pay someone to 3D print.
Yeah, it's a hobby in itself. That's the thing, So don't think if you're like into board games, like, oh, I'm gonna get a 3D printer so I can do all this stuff. It's a whole hobby.
I think a lot of people do think that.
Yeah, it's not like I'm hitting Control P and then I get my paper.
Local libraries. I'm gonna say it. Your people hear me talk about libraries all the time. Your libraries often can do 3D printing and make all the components just like this, because they're not huge.
Yeah,
they're not huge. So this is very doable for. Yeah.
But I would love to play Burgle Bros anytime, any place. It's on BGA as well. So you could play it there. But oh man, the physicalness is really, really something.
I like it. No,
and that was designed by Tim Towers of Tower Games.
Yep.
And the box it comes in is smaller. So I made a custom box for my Burgle Bros.
I was gonna say you need a bigger box.
Yeah, I made a custom box for my Burgle Bros. Yeah. All right. I see Squirrel's in the chat. Welcome, Squirrel. Hang on. What we see? I missed some stuff about Burgle Bros. Okay. Riley calls number 2. No problem. Brian always wanted to try Burgle Bros. Riley hasn't done it yet. But love the second. Yeah, the second one's great. Yeah. Custom box. Yeah, custom boxes. It's just like a Dominion box. Where is it? It's over there.
Did you just take one of the extra Dominion boxes you
Yes.
Have? Okay.
I just took a Dominion box and I put stickers on top of it.
There you go. Works.
Okay. So number 14 is Mike's number 7.
Okay.
And this is on your top 20.
Oh.
I'm going to let you talk about it.
All right. Bring it on up.
And good thing Squirrel's here, because it is Battlestar Galactica.
So when I talk about Battlestar Galactica, this has stayed on my list despite the fact that it probably hits the table once a year, and I'm thrilled if that happens. But it's completely worth it every single time for me because of the experience. And anyone who's watched this knows I will talk about the experience of the game impacts me in a big way. This one, which I'm gonna always play with 5 people. It's generally speaking, or large group, because it needs it. It is a game where you do have hidden traders. It is in the world of Battlestar Galactica. Now, full disclosure, I'm a Battlestar Galactica fan. I love that show. But this did it perfectly, because someone is a Cylon at the beginning, and someone else is going to become a Cylon. And you're going to make decisions, and someone's always going to determine, well, I think you're a Cylon. And then they're going to throw you in the brig. And then you're not going to like that person for the next 30 minutes.
Well, you say you think I'm a Cylon, but the fact that you said that makes me think you're the Cylon, and then you get thrown in the brig.
And then I go in the brig, and next thing we know, we both realize we're not the Cylons. Neither one of us are the Cylons, and the Cylons are sitting there laughing at us.
Yeah.
And it's so good. In the original series, by the way, I saw a favorite character. My favorite character is an interesting one, and I guess you could say tragic, because I always loved Starbuck. In the and I know in the and it's obviously, I'm talking about the version that came out after, not the original.
Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Kate. I love her as Starbuck, but yeah, I think this game is one that everyone should experience once.
Yeah,
and if you don't like it, fine, you don't need to play it again. But I think you need to experience this once, and you need to come into it knowing you are going to maybe blame someone and call them a Cylon. They may not be a Cylon, so you got to be. I say that just because I think some people can, if you get super intense, like this is. I don't necessarily want to play that with that super intense person. Like you gotta be ready for a fun time and realize, you might get called a Cylon, and you might not be too thrilled when they throw you in the brig.
At least there's some fun stories. Like,
yes,
I was once the Cylon. I was at and I was a Dama, and this is not with your game, which I also was a Dama and also was a Cylon.
I was gonna say,
but one guy actually messed up a card play, which sucks. It's unfortunate.
Yeah,
we pretty much called him out. It's like, you're the Cylon, sent to the brig. And meanwhile, I got the nukes. I'm ready to go. And there was one crucial point where the humans could have won, and then I just wasted the nukes and revealed I'm a Cylon.
But I do think you need a good group of 5 people for this. I have played with the base game. I have the first expansion. I would love to own the second, third expansion.
Which that's what Squirrel says he's looking out for.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know he's looking out.
So your favorite character is
it's Starbuck.
Yeah. You have a favorite character in the show? Never seen the show?
It's
a great show.
It's a good show.
So great game too.
Yeah. But I don't think, if you haven't seen the show, I still think the game you can have a blast with. I don't think you need to be connected to the IP. Yeah. So
I really like Admiral Adama. I really like Saltai.
Oh yeah, Saltai is so good.
Great fan of Chief. I like Chief as well too. Chief is pretty cool.
Yeah, but I just, again, I'll quantify as this. I'm so excited to see on the list. It was my number 7, and ultimately it's kind of stayed around that mark for me. And I don't envision it leaving my top 20 anytime soon, just because it's such a great game. Every time you play it, oh man, there's stories from it.
Yeah,
always stories from this game.
All right, and that was number 14, Battlestar Galactica.
Friendly reminder, of course, too. I do see some of you in the chat, and some of your games are coming up, so feel free to jump into the queue if you do want to talk about your game as they come up. And if you're in the queue and do have to go, we'll certainly jump ahead as needed.
We can jump ahead.
We can jump ahead certainly if you need to. Just let us know in the private chat.
I see Dan's here. Tyler's here.
Yep.
All right, so let's go on to Gabe's number 9 or number 13.
Our number 13, Gabe's number 9 is Too Many Bones.
So none of us have played Too Many Bones.
No, I mean, and if I certainly would say too, for anyone who the crossovers are with, feel free to jump in as well. I know if Arwen or Mr. Al were to show up.
A couple things I know. Obviously, right, it's on Arwen's. Arwen's number 8. And then the other things to know about Too Many Bones. One is waterproof, because it's a chip theory game. And it's very expensive. But I know I've heard a lot of great things about the solo mode of it. So I do have it. I do want to try it. I won at an auction years ago, but I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet. But I know Rob has in town in Roseland has like the whole giant treasure trove
Oh.
of stuff, which is the giant. It fits in a Kallax cube box of too many bones. So
is the box waterproof, dude?
Probably, you know,
Just put it in the cooler.
So yeah, oh, that'd be pretty fun, right?
In the pool.
This is a top 5 game for Riley. It looks like.
So, do you want to try it?
Lurking.
We got
what happened? What did I miss?
Mr. Rao's lurking.
Oh, Mr. Rao, welcome.
Said he's lurking.
So we have some chats about Too Many Bones. Danielle saying she needs to play it more. Arwen saying excellent choice. Yeah, for sure. Riley's done Too Many Bones. Got to be a top 5 game. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Rao's lurking. Welcome, Mr. Rao. I miss here. Okay, cool. Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, this is one I'd like to try sometime. I've always seen this at cons.
Yeah.
And I've just never sat down to play it.
Well, it's all like poker chip stuff too. Like use it for like daily trackers and stuff. So, all right, our number 12. He's on the line right now.
Yeah, I think we gotta bring him in.
So, Marcel, we're gonna bring you in 3 and 2. Wait. Don't hold the phone. I remembered something. I gotta add in this thing first. 1 second.
Ooh, who's that?
Hang on. I'm fixing this really quickly. Okay. Woo. Saved. Update layout. Okay, great. Live. Bringing him in 3, 2, 1. Hey.
Hey, how we doing?
How you doing?
Ah, my hat's crooked. Hey, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Loud and clear.
All right, perfect.
Loud and clear. So, I am excited to say that number 12 is your number 1.
Excellent game.
And I'm not excited because I do think it should be higher in the list personally.
I agree.
And I know you and I both agree on this. So I think we should just bring it up and show everybody why I think that. Because it's Targi. Talk to me about Targi. Why Targi for you as, number 1?
Well, I mean, played it first time last year with you and pretty easy to teach, pretty easy to play. The game's always changing, even throughout the game itself. 2-player games are just easier to get to the table. So it's one that I think you and I have played quite a few times on BGA. So
yeah, it is a game too that is always just different with every play because the cards will never come out the same. Even if the border is the same, it doesn't matter. The middle of the board's always gonna change. So
and we've also had games where it's trying to figure out, okay, do I finish off my table first and deny you points, or do I try and get that one extra thing to get the matching set? And so there's been a few where I think we've actually finished it before that third raid or right at it. So
it's the high scoring games in this one are ones you feel really good about.
Yeah, I was gonna say all of my plays of this game have usually been very, very close.
Yeah, generally speaking, even the close ones. There's ones that you'll have because they end early because you're rushing to end it, and they end up like 29-27. But then you'll have other games where it's like 44, 43, and they're these high scoring affairs, and that really so it's. And it's very well implemented online, so it makes it so
By the way, Barrow's paying off a bet that I owed you for that Bruins game back in like January.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, hang on, let me pull that up. What?
Yes, I did. I forgot about that. I'm glad you remembered. He did owe me that.
So. I wasn't gonna buy the jersey, so the shirt's all you got.
Shirt's good.
I'll take it. I will take it. Eric asking, by the way, have you played Target expansion?
Whoa, it's Eric. What's up, dude?
Hey.
Yeah. Good to see you, Eric. Yes, I played Target expansion. I love Target expansion. Every year, Ryan always laughs because when it comes up with that video. Well, can you tell me about the expansion?
Oh yeah, what was the expansion called?
Target the expansion.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it is. I like Target expansion. Target expansion almost feels like a different game in a lot of different ways, and not in a bad way.
Okay. I never played it,
but it's real. I really like Target the expansion, but I tend to play. 95% of my games are Target the base game.
Yeah.
I feel like, by the way, when you have high scoring games, there's a focus for sure on that one card where you could trade in like 2 gold coins for 4 victory points. That's crucial.
If you really want to score high there, but you still got to create that tableau in the right way, and then to get the highest score, you have to have a tableau that you have 3 rows of each with 4 of the same type of card.
Yeah,
amongst everything else. So
yeah,
but yeah. Look,
also
great choice. I have
the
to tell
geek
you.
up on this one, fantastic.
Oh yeah, the geek ups for it
And affordable.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the
Cool.
best
Any
deals
real
out there
dates?
for the geek ups.
No real dates.
bad dates.
Salt crystals.
Oh man. Well, no, great pick. Thank you again for participating and for popping on to chat about this one, and touche for following up on your word, because I totally forgot about that.
Catch you later.
All right,
Have a
see
great
you
night.
later.
See you in the chat. So that was
There
number.
it is.
It's the X in the corner.
Found it. I know. I was looking. Hey, I made it.
I know.
I know
you
where the
made it.
close button.
I know
is.
you know where the close button is. Want to say hello to everyone in the chat, though. Everyone watching. Welcome to our return to Call Aboard.
Yes.
The last in our top 20 of all time series with our callers picks. Exciting to share these. And our number 11 is. I see the
our caller's there. I think.
Is he there?
I think he's there.
I see.
Yes, he is there.
He is.
He's running back.
He is there.
All right, we're bringing him on in because he's going to show it right now to us.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring him on in 3 and 2 and 1. Hey, Eddie.
Hey, guys. How are you?
What's going on, man?
Good.
So, number 11 is your number 2.
Okay. Is my number 2. Well, I do want to preface this. My list of submissions wasn't really just my top 20 for the list. It was really top 20 with a folded space insert.
Oh,
jeez. So all these games I listed for I guess.
This is brought to you by.
Yeah, this is a good plan.
I better get residuals from this.
This is a good choice, though. I think it's a good choice. I think it speaks very much to the community on this one. So,
I mean, I love Cascadia. I mean,
that's what it is.
People do.
Holy
crossovers.
Anthony, Brian, and me with this one.
Yeah.
So, what is it about Cascadia? You know, I what do you think is about Cascadia that has drawn all the love that it has in the board game space? Because I do feel like this one hit at a different level, even after I know Calico had been popular, but this one just seemed to hit different for people, in my opinion.
For me, I know it's one of those when I want to come home and I want to relax with a game, because Calico can be a brain burner at times.
Oh, it is a brain burner.
It is.
And Cascadia makes me feel a lot more comfort. So when I want to, some R&R, I just pull out Cascadia and play that.
Yeah, it really does.
You're never going to be stuck in Cascadia. Like,
No.
You might have suboptimal like options, but there's never going to be like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And I'm curious actually, because that's a good point. I'm curious if there was feedback taken into consideration about Calico when designing Cascadia. I'd love to know that information.
Well, they're not the same designer, are they? I think
no, not the same designer,
same publisher though.
Same publisher,
right?
I think the same series. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's
Verdant
as Calico, right? Verdant.
Yeah, I consider it a series, but I will say, I think it does have that relaxing feel because you're able to play your board however you like it, and you could stretch out. You're not confined to an area at all. You could expand now, but you do. It's still strategic, so I think it's great. And since you mentioned your criteria, it does have very nice. They obviously have very nice insert for it that you can get. So that is. I think we have a photo.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, there he is.
Live infomercial.
Yeah. The card sorted and everything. It's all colored.
The colors too,
Goodness
right?
gracious.
When you look at that and you actually look at the colors on the board, it matches beautifully.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and this is a good board. No, it is a gorgeous game, and it is very approachable.
Yeah,
it's very easy to get to the table and get someone into hobby gaming with this kind of game.
Yeah, and I think the theme helps too. Everybody loves a nature theme.
Yeah,
cool.
No, we thank you, of course, for participating in this and having some fun sharing your list with us. And popping on. Of course, it's always good to see you in the chat, but it's great to have you pop on video. Which
I'm really enjoying seeing everyone else's contributions as well too.
Yeah.
So
well, we appreciate it. We are gonna. I guess we've got some more contributions to see because what number are?
Well, let me just show you right now. That was number 11, right? So we're halfway through this list. So
flip it.
No, I already flipped it.
Oh, you did?
I never unflipped it.
Oh, you never
right?
unflipped it.
I never unflipped it. So 20 Red Dominion, 19 Ashes Reborn, 18 Just One, 17 Barenpark, 16 Crokinole, 15 Burgle Bros 1 and 2, 14 Battlestar Galactica, 13 Too Many Bones, 12 Targi, 11 Cascadia. Pretty cool.
Solid. And Brian has an interesting point, by the way, that Randy probably played a lot of Prototype Calico before finishing Cascadia, so there could be some influence there.
Yeah.
Oh, and Angela's saying that she prefers Calico out of the two.
Yeah, I know. There's plenty of people who prefer Calico.
Cascadia does need painted minis. I do agree.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I do agree.
Yes. To answer your question at the start of the stream, 271 different games were mentioned as we did this. So
271 different games.
Yep.
So
our number 10.
Our number 10. So Monkey Shine, that's Howard on the Discord. We all know him well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're playing 1889 right now. It's not 18XX game though. Imagine the next 10 are all just 18XX games.
Oh. Is it a war theme?
I don't remember what this was.
I don't either.
It's Arkham Horror, the card game. It's a crossover with Mr. Rao Gaming. And at one point, it was in my top 20. So there's multiple designers of this, but I have marked down as Nate French and Maxine Juniper Newman. And the Arkham Horror, the card game, is a fantastic LCG. I prefer it better than Marvel Champions. And in this game, you are basically just running around, finding clues, and defeating bad guys. It's pretty much what you're doing. The cards, though, what's interesting about the game is the cards are used in a way where you're using your cards as characters, or you're using your cards for attacking and for doing different abilities. You could equip different items, and then you're using the cards for the map itself, and you can move around the board. And how they handle that map sequence and how it changes overall is just, it's so well done. And it's one of those campaign games where you fail forward. So anytime you don't succeed, you just keep on going until the very end, or maybe even sooner, depending on which campaign.
Tyler just played this for the first time.
There you go. Wait, Tyler's playing for the first time, based in a scenario, and it was a blast. Only play with one investigator, so probably didn't play it fully correct. Well, so yeah, that's the thing. You could play this with one investigator, which I did for my first play. I played as Roland Banks. That's probably what you play as too, Tyler. Or Wendy was the other one, I think, in the base game. I think. Man, it's been so long.
But wait, you played.
I think all six are in the base game. There's a 6 starting set. Never mind. So you play through and you level up too. You level up. You also get like weaknesses and stuff. Yeah, and the first play definitely is a learning play. If you do like it, I would suggest skipping the Knight of the Zealot scenario and jumping right into the Dunwich legacy stuff. And I'm talking to him right now in the chat. I could just bring him in right now because he's actually going up next, is he not?
I believe he's next.
Is he not going on next? All right, Tyler, I'm going to bring you in. No, he's not next. Tyler, you hang out Tyler, I'm bringing you in for 1 second and I'll put you back out. Okay. Come in 3, 2, 1. Hey, Tyler. Tyler, can you hear me? Hey, I'm pulling you in.
1 second. Hello. All right. I had one tab muted and another tab going. So
I'm gonna pull you back in for your 6 a little bit later.
Yep.
But Arkham Horror, the card game. So, what do you think about your first play?
I thought it was pretty fun. I played. It was the dude that was recommended. There's a guy and a girl that was recommended for the first scenario. I played with a guy.
Yeah, that's just Roland Banks and Wendy.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. It was interesting, and there's definitely some stuff that I missed with how to play and probably there's a lot of stuff. There's always, like I said, it's a learning play, but
did you burn your house down?
No. I think I succeeded, and that's probably why I believe I probably played a bunch of stuff wrong.
No.
So
there's an option where you get to burn your house down the first minute. Spoilers.
You still might win.
Oh yeah. It affects the second scenario.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll probably go back soon, and I'm probably gonna do Roland and was it Wendy, the other person, do two-handed with that. I'm not a huge. I think that may be the one thing that would detract me from going too deep in Arkham Horror. Is because I prefer, like Spirit Island, I prefer playing it solo,
sure,
rather than two-handed. So, but I think Arkham Horror, it's very manageable to do it two-handed. So, or with two investigators. So I definitely foresee later on adding, and I've heard Dunwich has been that next step that would be good to add to the collection, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Dunwich is pretty excellent, and so is Path of the Carcosa as well too, the following one. And then for Forgotten Age, you probably don't have any of the return boxes. Those are hard to get now. All right, find someone that has it. Find someone that has it. It's worth it. And luckily you guys got a whole cube. Cube.
I'm not too worried. There's some right there.
Yeah,
we're gonna bring you back later. So stick
Sounds
around.
good. We'll see you in a little bit.
Stick around. Cool.
All right. So, by the way, Eric pointing out that he hasn't got as much to do because he's been playing X-Men characters from Marvel Champions.
Yeah,
which we really need to do.
We do really need to do. And the thing is, too, if you like more of a story-based thing, Arkham Horror is where it's at.
Yeah,
for sure. Like, because it's really narrative-driven. Mm-hmm. Like, there's campaigns in the Marvel Champions ones, and honestly, they're very pale in comparison to the Arkham Horror ones.
Yeah. I don't play Marvel Champions for the campaign stuff.
Right, you just like.
I play because I like the matchup. I like team.
But you play solo or you play with your son?
I play with my. I play 2-player with my son, and I play solo two-handed. So that's how I play. I still do 2 characters. I don't do true solo in that sense. Okay.
So. What's been saying? I guess I played too much Arkham Horror Cthulhu games because I never found the need to play this game. But I always hear good things. Honestly. That's always why I knocked it. Like I knocked it and didn't want to play it because there's so many Cthulhu stuff. Like there's definitely an oversaturation. Yeah. But this is the one. Like this is the Cthulhu game. So
yeah.
And also HP Lovecraft gets no money for this because it's all public domain, and thankfully so because he's an awful person. Oh yeah. He's may continue to rot in hell. So anyways. That's number 10.
Number 9.
Number 9 is Meeple and the Moose's number 1. Meeple and the Moose. And I'm glad it's here because it is also my number 1. This food chain.
There it is.
Thank you.
This showed up, I think, 3 or 4 times.
I was not expecting this in the top 20.
I don't have the list in front of me, but I believe it showed up at least 3 times. So it wasn't just because it was someone's number 1. Like it showed up.
Well, so there was another question about, besides how many entries, how many games, do you have an idea of how many people actually submitted for this list?
I think it was 21, 22.
Yeah.
People submitted. Yeah. It was close to the kind of, it was 21, 22.
That's a good job.
So there was definitely a lot of repeat stuff, but then there was plenty of unique choices. And as we said, and for those who joined later, the way it was if it was number 1, it got 20 points. If it was number 20, it got 1 point. So the scoring, obviously, it didn't need to be number 1 on anyone's list to be number 1.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So got some chatter about Food Chain Magnate. Let me just hype up my favorite board game of all time again.
So, but can I just point out?
Yeah.
Your number 1.
My number 1.
Has made my list.
Yeah.
Has made the list. My number 1 has made the list. And your number 1 has made the list.
That's true.
All three
Mr.
of
Rouse.
And Mr. Rao's number 1 has made the list.
Mr. Rao's number 1 has made the list as well too.
So
that's Danielle's.
Raising Robots. So there could be time.
Yeah.
Food Chain Magnate is a game where you are gonna love it or hate it for the same exact reasons.
You mean like Squirrel?
it's a game where you could lose on the first turn of the game. And yeah, you could give it another, another game I'll pass. Yeah. But here's the thing. If you don't like that kind of game, this is not going to be the game for you. It's not going to change anything at all, But if the excitement of something like absurd sales of different food items that you are just making and different combos that you're just breaking because of these achievements you just achieved is your kind of thing, this is going to be your kind of game. If you play this game with other people who are even on that same level of thinking of this, like how this game is going to work and how it's going to pan out, it can be a very, very cutthroat tactical game. And I love that all about this game because there's so many tight decisions, and it really are dire tight decisions. So you're speeding down a 20-mile-per-hour curve constantly, and every round, there's gonna be one car that flies off that turn.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure your car doesn't fly off that turn. So
I stand by what I've said with this game. I'll play it again, but I'm not rushing to the table to play this just for what you said. If someone's experience,
I want to play it again with you with the new milestone.
Yeah, I do want to do that.
It's more of an even playing field because I haven't really dived into much of the new milestones. I'm currently in a online game right now where I'm getting completely.
I'm just saying I would never play this with anyone that with more than one experience. I would like rather play this with a bunch of people who have kind of played it.
Yeah.
But aren't really that great. So at least I'm not out on the first turn.
Sure.
But I appreciate what they did with this one. But I do like the look of your more bland, boring version.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the new pretty one.
No.
It doesn't look right.
Yeah. Just get this one, in my opinion. I mean, they're both roughly the same price. Yeah. So you could get the Lucky Duck edition.
But the older one is still available?
Yeah, they're both available.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that Splotter, they don't really quit their day jobs. Like this is like a side hustle for them. So their games are expensive.
Yeah.
So when you compare that to what you're getting in the Lucky Duck one, like
you're
the
probably
recent boards,
yeah,
you might want to get it.
And I know Riley is editing right now,
and you can play a shorter game. Play a shorter game.
Oh, you can.
I feel like the shorter game, though, you miss out on the milestones, which is the crucial part of the game, in my opinion. Like the fact about because you get the milestones are basically Xbox achievements. So, like when you achieve something, you're in it,
But
you get like a little bonus.
It's like a 2.5 to 3 hour game, though.
Well, it could be a 2-hour game. It could be longer with all new players.
Right. So that's what I said. Like,
but on average, like a 2-hour game.
Okay. Yeah. I know that Riley is in editing land and watching and in the comments, but his is up with number 8 right now. It was his number 2. And that one is Cthulhu. Speaking of Cthulhu.
Yeah, he's back.
Death May Die.
Yeah. Just when you thought you were done with Cthulhu, Cthulhu is back in a game that none of us have played yet.
No.
I am dying to play this one.
This was a popular.
Just the one with the giant.
Yeah, it's the one with the giant mini.
This was another one with 3 or 4 people. And you're going to start to hear that now a lot more where a bunch of people have picked this. So, I'll be candid. Outside of a giant miniature, I'm not going to claim to know much of anything about this one. I know Cthulhu and I know giant miniature, and I knew that Cthulhu didn't interest me at the time, but that was my knowledge of the game.
Arkham Horror, the card game, is very pulpy, and I've heard comparatively, this is even pulpier than Arkham Horror, the card game.
Really?
Like, it knows it's dumb, and it's having a great time with it. So that's why I really want to play it. Like
Dr. J just offered to bring it to PAX.
There you go. It's going to be this year then.
Yeah.
Oh, Squirrel and his girlfriend just finished all of season 1. It was amazing. You see? Yeah. And this is a game where I've heard it's very crippling and punishing.
Yikes.
But I've heard the same sentiment where it is a favorite dungeon crawler for people. And yeah, I do need to play this game.
I'll give it a shot. I want to play it once for sure.
Yeah.
Do you always use the giant mini, or is it like a once?
I think
in a while
I think
kind of
the
thing that comes
giant,
out?
the Maxature, right?
Maxature,
right?
Mini
I think it's used for like a scenario. I think. It's a CMON thing, right? So it's probably only used for like one scenario, maybe two. Yeah, the biggie. You could probably sub it in for something. I have a big Galactus. I could sub it in for Galactus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look who just showed up.
Oh, just in time.
Oh, let's bring him on in. It's his number 7 in 3 and 2 and 1. Hello, Nick.
Hello. How's it going?
Hey, Nick. So your number 6 is the number 7 on this list, it looks like.
I am curious what it is.
Oh, you remember that? Okay. Well, it's a game you love so much so that it's very easy to roll. It rolls off right off the tongue. It's Age of Steam. Crossover.
Very good.
Man, I feel good.
You're the people's champion right now.
Right now, I am.
Now.
Talk about why you love Age of Steam.
Yeah, so this is a really new one for me. I did the Game Found campaign, so there's a lot to unpack with that. But it's just me and my wife have been playing the 2-player, and I know, like, I think you said the Rust Belt you gotta play, but there's just so much game in it, and it's got one of those systems that once you learn it, it's like you're solid for like 80-90% of the rules, and you can just jump into something different and have a totally different experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's great so far,
and that's good
because
there's like 300 maps for this game.
That was my question. How many maps are there, and how many have you both played? I'm interested. Like, have you got a lot to the table?
I think I played 7 of the maps.
I like the concept you just described, by the way, of I learned the base and I get 90+% of the game.
You like that concept?
I like the idea that there's always slightly different. Don't overread into that.
I'm just saying that you might like the roll the base next X-Men.
I know. Let's not go there.
I saw where that was going. It's great. We've only played like I said 2 of the 2-player maps, but it's I put it on like my meetup. I'm hoping to just get like all you get is like 1 or 2 other people, and then you're solid. So
yeah. Rust Belt is a fantastic intro to the game for 4 players.
So it's only 4.
No, you can do that one 3 to 6, but it's best
2.
at 4,
not 2.
No, you can't do that one at 2. But Nick's absolutely right. You learn the system and then you just apply it to the different maps out there. And there's a lot of different things. There's some crazy boards. Like there's one that introduces tornadoes to the board. There's one where you play the human body.
Tyler's mentioning France is a good intro map.
Isn't there like a Christmas one too or something?
Probably.
They have some wild ones.
Yeah, there probably is. And there's a whole dedicated convention to this in Kansas City. That I would love to go to at some point. But Age of Steam is a game that, again, if you like those kinds of games where it's going to be a bit in your face and a bit, oh my gosh, I need to survive with all this. How am I going to survive with all this money? It's pick up and deliver in its meanest.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you like that sort of thing, this one is the way to go.
And awesome. and you mentioned 18xx, like those can last a little bit longer. These are typically shorter. So
it's significantly shorter than 18xx games.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But it's exciting stuff.
Very
interesting.
Good.
Thank you for calling in about Age of Steam.
All right. Yeah. See you guys.
See you, Nick.
See you later.
See you, Nick.
Oh man, I love Age of Steam. Oh yeah, Detroit Bankruptcy is the one where
that's the name of the map.
Yeah, so it's focused on it's a game, by the way, where there is player elimination. Some some maps
you just lost the
ball. But the thing is, some maps are catered towards it, and some maps aren't.
Okay, so you don't.
So Detroit Bankruptcy is purposely if you want to play one that there's only be one person. Detroit bankruptcy is the way to play. In my game of Rust Belt, only one person went bankrupt, and that's because he focused on trying to do so.
Well, it still sounds better than happy little freaking dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
That's why running.
No, a lot of the bankruptcy actually has to not really do with the other players, but how you messed up your own stuff.
Okay, that's better.
So
you're screwed yourself.
You're kind of in charge of your own fate.
Okay,
you know.
We can't keep this guy waiting anymore.
All right, Tyler's coming back in 3 and 2 and 1. Tyler,
you're back.
Howdy. How are we doing?
Oh, we're doing great.
A lot has changed since last
you're taking us into the top 5. We're not quite there yet, but you're right on the edge there with your number 1, which is the number 6 for the Callers Top 20.
Number 6.
Yeah.
And I will preface by this game probably will move down to number 2 by the end of this year if it hasn't already. What was Ashes at? Was that 19?
It was at 19.
Ashes will probably claim number 1 by the end of this year. I will say that
Ashes is next year.
I think Undaunted.
You think it's Undaunted?
Yes.
I don't know.
No. I don't know if I've really talked about this game on the channel too much before, but it's Ark Nova.
Oh,
there it is.
It is Ark Nova.
Ark Nova actually had a few. Ark Nova had a bunch of, even though I feel like it has been talked about on the Discord before, it's not like hasn't been a constant conversation. So it was this. I was surprised to see.
Yeah, Ashes. I just saw Arwen's comment about Ashes. Ark Nova is, and I think the expansion that was one of those that made it better. It built on what was already great, and it added that extra oomph to take away some criticism of the game. Because in the expansion in Marine Worlds, the wave action on the new cards moves and eliminates certain cards to get through that deck faster, to be able to get more cards, maybe see cards that you're looking for those conservation projects, or get a card that you're looking to get into a certain enclosure itself. So it's one of those that it adds onto it. And in the expansion itself, it's super neat because you get those specific meeples in a way that are like, the black ones are penguins, the red ones are monkeys. There's specific ones that are super neat towards each specific player color if you have a preference or whatnot. So
that's cool.
What you just described was one of my largest issues with the base game was I couldn't get the system I wanted going, and because the cards weren't coming out and I had no great way to move through the deck. So it's interesting. I might have to try the expansion.
Well, it didn't feel like a zoo.
It did feel like a zoo, but I could deal with it not feeling like a zoo. I liked other games that had larger decks that I could have to work through in the past too, where I was building set. But with this one, I just could not get the cards I needed at all, and it left me so frustrated.
Well, yeah.
So, but it sounds like that expansion is interesting. But I get why people really like this one, and we saw it with this year's vote because it came up a bunch of times, and it was one that mixes a lot of mechanics that people really enjoy in a game these days.
Yeah, I see. I mean, Rachel has it number 3. I see, and like it's one of those that, and even too with like the expansion, it adds a little asymmetric aspect to it, because some of the action cards, like your 5 action cards, it's been a little bit since I've played it actually, and this is why Ashes will probably retake it or take over at number 1. But like building project, like all those 5 actions that you can take, you get dealt out 3 cards at the beginning of the game that could provide a different action that would typically be it for the base option, and you pick 2 of those 3, and it's super nice because like it makes you maybe want to focus on one area over the other. And like there's so many different strategies with the game, so many different maps that you can play with. as the more and more I talk about it, the more and more I want to play it.
Yeah.
But it may be best at like 2 to 3 players, because at 4 players it can be a drag to finish. But 2 players it's manageable at, and 3 players as well too. So I think that's the sweet spot with the game.
And Rachel's saying that different maps give you different bonuses to make it asymmetrical.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's interesting.
Well, that's why like with Ark Nova, I really like it on BGA as well too. You know, because playing it at 2 was my max player count in person, just because there was so much upkeep and so many things going on. And I felt like, you know, more people is just longer the wait. But on BGA, so many things are automated on it. It's handled really nicely. It's a very, I mean, there's a lot going on, but once you grok it, like, it's pretty straightforward. You know, it's largely just a Tableau builder.
Yeah. And like I said, it's using a lot of, I think, mechanics that are popular in a bunch of these other that are just combined in a really neat way.
Yeah.
That I don't want to say that the mechanics themselves aren't unique, but the way they're combined felt a little bit different. But yeah, I definitely I would give us a shot with the expansion again, based on what's being described. Definitely do. And I mean, obviously the community, the Board Game Geek community thinks so as well, since it was voted the best expansion of the year. I think that's just because of the title of Ark Nova as a whole. But like also at the same time, it's really good. And like, even if you want to test out, I don't think they have Marine Worlds on BGA yet, but they have some of the newer, like the new map packs that
cool.
Ark Nova,
that was it Capstone or is it Flightline?
Capstone.
That made it, like, the exclusive map pack that was available for purchase is now on BGA as well too. So like,
very cool.
It's just like there's everything but Marine Worlds on BGA. So if I see Squirrel is telling me we need to play more Ark Nova. If anyone wants in on it, I'm more than happy to get a game rolling of it. So
yeah, and I'm happy that people have enjoyed it. I know as a channel, I feel like we're on the outlier side.
Yeah, it's fair to say.
I mean, I still like Ark Nova.
But
like, I know there's people who love Ark Nova. Obviously, Tyler, I'm talking to you. And that's what's great. I mean, it just goes again with what's great about the hobby. There's so many different board games for everyone, and so many, niches that could be struck.
Well, as I said, when I was going through all the entries into this list and cleaning up the list, because there was some things were showing up as I had to clean up all the duplicates, etc. So many games. I was like, what? I was learning about games in the process. It was a great experience just doing that cleanup. But no, look. Ark Nova now officially sitting here then for us at number 6.
Oh, and Marine Worlds add sharks, right?
There's sharks, there's turtles, there's fish,
it's automatically better now.
There's so much stuff, and even with Marine
in the original one, or were penguins added by this?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if penguins are in the expansion. I haven't seen all of the expansion cards.
There should be
there should be penguins because they add penguin meeples, but I can't 100% say that there are penguins in the.
Okay. Well, I hope there's penguins. Otherwise, I'm taking back what I said.
You're
no penguins.
But say you're a penguin.
You're a penguin. Yeah. I love that game. Awesome.
Good.
Well, thank you, Tyler. Thank you for your submission. Thanks for hanging on a little bit.
Of course.
There as well, and popping on with us earlier too.
Sounds good. Thanks, fellas.
Later.
So we're in the top 5.
We're in the top 5.
The top 5 has been reached. We've got Zoe, Squirrel, Dr. J. We got D-Nix Dan in there, and we got Eric's, which is the number 1.
Yeah.
But first we have to start with number 5.
So the number 5, I was completely surprised to see this in the top 20.
Why?
Why?
Because you don't like it?
No, actually, I really like it.
Oh, okay.
I really like it. But we've never really... the last time we talked about this, on the channel was when we were doing our highlights of 2021. And you both talked about how much you enjoyed going to PAX Unplugged that year. And unfortunately, that's the year I couldn't go to PAX Unplugged.
Yep.
However, I did highlight my favorite PAX of the year was PAX Pamir 2nd edition.
Oh, you took that a completely different turn.
I'm trying to think of like what game did we see there that we really liked.
Oh no, that was the same. That was literally the same joke I made.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
PAX Pamir 2nd edition, designed by Cole Worley from Worley Good Games, is a fantastic game. It's a game I haven't played in a very long time.
You own it though, right?
I do own it. It's beautiful. It's
behind us somewhere.
Right over there. It's in purple. You know. I was not expecting to see so much love for PAX Pamir 2nd edition, but it's such a fantastic game. I play it a lot. I used to play a lot on Rally the Troops.
Yeah.
It's on BGA now, but I still prefer the Rally the Troops implementation because there's too much automation, I feel like, for me in BGA, and I like to see what's going on with this game. So in PAX Pamir 2nd edition, you are basically, I don't know what you really are, to be honest. Are you like arms dealers or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyways, it's you're basically just trying to get the most.
Kaprovsky.
Well, you're trying to get the most points, and you're going to be either targeting the Russians, the British, or Afghanistan, and you'll be, targeting and like kind of playing cards in your tableau that are benefiting those tribes, but you can also change your loyalty to a completely different loyalty.
Yeah.
Why do the pieces look like delicious candy?
They are delicious. They are delicious.
Rachel has pointed out they must. The pieces look delicious.
See, they look like that, not delicious, like hard sugary decoration.
They're like grandma candy, like Smarties, but like a really hard Smarties.
I like Smarties.
You're a grandma candy guy. That's okay.
They're pure sugar. They're not grandma candy.
Do you like the strawberry candies?
No.
See, there's a grandma candy for everyone.
That's
but going back to this, like the pieces are super elegant, and it's very easy to see what the game state is like, because those delicious looking pieces, when laid down like that, they are roads. When standing up, they are armies.
Yeah.
And when you see them, because there's only a limited amount, when you see the whole supply, you'll see what loyalty, what faction is basically in the lead. So you may want to focus on being the best.
Well, Squirrel did point out in this game, you do not ignore anyone.
Yeah, you don't ignore anyone. And actually, I remember playing this game with both Squirrel and is Squirrel coming up next, by the way? Who's coming up next? Squirrel is coming up next. Squirrel, you're on the chat right now. I'm just going to pull you in. Squirrel. In 3, in 2, and 1. Howdy, Squirrel.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Let's talk about our game at PAX Pamir. I remember specifically taking about 45 minutes to explain the rules of PAX Pamir and all the inner workings.
Yep.
And then we finished the game in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was our second game. We actually played this twice in a row.
Yeah.
I think the first game was us just trying to learn how to play the game and like be successful with it. I remember winning that one in a couple rounds in. I don't know how.
I think I had to do convincing to Mike to try it again, because he was
and then we played it a second time, and I think because the first time I won, I don't know why this happened, but you and Sig were going against each other.
We were going against each other. You just went for it.
And then I think I won on turn 2 or round 2 or 3 in that game, because you guys were doing your own thing, and I just kept on increasing my diplomacy track. I think whatever it is. Yeah.
Because at most there's only 4 scoring periods. And whenever a scoring period happens, if one player is 4 points ahead of all the other players, the game's over and that player automatically wins.
Also, it can end really quickly.
Yeah. So
those are the only 2 times I've ever played the game, too. By the way, I've never played this ever since then.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's a game that, again, that doesn't sound exciting to you. It's probably not going to be, but it's a really, really exciting tableau kind of building thing where you can mess with other people completely and you can see what's going on. And the other thing too is because of the cards and what the situation is, you may not have what you need to go to win, and you're just going to be like hoping that something is going to happen because you're very limited with actions. But then you can play specific combos where your actions are not as limited anymore, and then it's great.
Well, the people clearly did like it because it is number 4.
Good night, Riley.
Number 4 on the callers top 20. So,
Which is wild.
I am blown away.
Yeah, we did not expect this one.
You both haven't played this yet.
No.
All right, you're both playing it now.
Oh, this is number 5, right?
This is number 5.
Number 5. I'm sorry. Yeah, number 5. Squirrel, I was thinking ahead. Your number 4 is number 4.
I'm the speaker of the people, I guess, in Tabletop Express.
You are. Hang on one second. I just want to get all the. Did I miss anything for Pax? No, I think we're.
All I know is, I just to say it too. By the way, Pax Pamir has like one of the best like play boards.
The cloth board.
Beautiful cloth board. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And yes, don't eat the sugar coated pieces.
Yeah. All right, Squirrel. Your number 4 is the people's number 4.
Yep, I got it right here.
Hang on.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead. You pull it out.
Okay, sure. This is the one that introduced iron clays and all that fun stuff that a lot of people use for especially train games, and that would be Brass Birmingham.
So good.
We went from one that I was surprised by to one I'm not surprised by being on the list. Because
Brass Birmingham is just one of those games that like you just love. If you love a crunchy game that like there's all sorts of things you do in this, putting buildings out across the town that everyone uses, everyone else's resources, if they're all connected by a network. And you're trying to build your own buildings, but people are taking your resources, which is fine too, because that still gives you points and income, but you're still trying to continue to do what you want to do. There's just a lot of manipulation that you can do. Remind me, Espen, there's a line of things that you want. It's like beer, coal.
Mm-hmm.
What's the line?
So in the game, you could be selling cotton. You could be selling manufactured goods, or I like to call them Ark of the Covenants.
Or
you could be selling pottery.
Yep. And
whenever you make transactions for sales of those, you're likely also pairing it with some kegs of beer. And it handles such wonkiness in the best possible ways because it is it can be a very intimidating and boring kind of looking
but
game.
It looks intimidating though, because I can say you put this on the table. I looked at it and I'll class it. I mean, for if anyone is watching this and hasn't seen, my particular taste, the best thing I can describe is I do like certain heavier games, but I definitely have a happy medium in that like medium department, right? So I looked at this and I assumed, okay, this looks like it's going to be super heavy. It once I got into the system, it flew for me, and it was it was clean and ultimately. And I think I described this previously on your video. Actually, after we were about halfway through, I said, "I get this," and I kind of wanted to play again.
I remember that first day too. We were playing. We were teaching you the rules, and you're like, "Let's just play. Let me see if I can figure this out." And like, we had to get through almost the first entire the Canal era, and you were like, "Okay, I think I got this." And then like you finished the game, and like you were like, I might not have won the game, but I totally understand the appeal of this. And you really wanted to set us up to play another game like immediately after, even though it was like something like 9 or 10 p.m.
It was, but it really, like I said, it has, and the interactive, I think the thing that I like about this, which I think you would probably appreciate too, is the fact that really every decision you make is important. And interacts with other players, because if I go on a certain track, yes, it impacts. That's not very different from other games, but I could sell goods at a location that then flip over a tile for someone else. So
Yeah.
my helping me might help someone help even more. And now I've inadvertently put myself in a worse situation, even though I helped myself, which I love that.
Yeah, because keep in mind, all the resources that you generate in this game, they don't belong in your plate like supply.
Okay.
They're on the board for
Yeah.
any player to use those resources. And sometimes you want them to use those resources so you could have your buildings flip over. Sometimes, why did you take my beer? I needed that beer. I needed that beer, and you took that beer.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I need to advance my own plot. Let me use my stuff.
Yeah.
Get away.
But it comes to such excitement, and there's just this exhilaration when you could just like use someone else's stuff and kind of foil their plans, or better yet, because the game every round, the round ends. You see how much money was spent by the players, and the player who spent the least amount of money is going to start the next round.
Yep.
And it's crucial because if you're going last at that round, you could make sure you spend the least amount of money and then go again and effectively have 4 turns in a row as opposed to just doing 2 actions and then 2 turns. So
double loans.
Yeah.
Double loans.
And it's so worth it. It's so worth it because there's times where you can actually overbuild and take away people's points and cover them up with your own stuff. Not always, but there are times where you can do that, and it feels good. It feels really good.
But this game is just so good. Like it got to the point where I like tried to upgrade everything that I have. I mean, I do that with every one of my favorite games. So like they have like a kit where you can actually get like 3D trains and rails. I went to Etsy and I got like the income markers and I got the points markers.
Hang on, let me.
You
have the hat.
Oh yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's the hat and the lira or whatever that denomination
I think
is.
it's a pound, isn't it?
And I'm still jealous. I am still jealous of your copy, Espen. I do have the metal iron cubes, but you have the best looking coal cubes.
Yeah.
They look and feel like legit coal. And
so
I even tried to get my own copy of that.
Hard to see. Yeah.
I tried to get my own things, but they came out like super small and they look nice, but they're super small and they don't work well with the game. But,
these cubes right here, they it was a seller on Etsy that was selling cubed beads that look like volcanic ash, and it's the exact millimeter size of the cubes they're using in Brass Birmingham, and it just looks perfect because it looks exactly like coal.
Yep.
So with these square pieces, it looks like and I love that. I love when the pieces can do that.
One thing I can say as well before I go, by the way, is this game has similarities to Brass Lancashire. So, like, I know some people also prefer Brass Lancashire. I used to prefer Brass Lancashire as well, and then like I played more Birmingham, and I realized it's superior in a couple different ways. But also note that a lot of the components that are used are in both games. So, like, I legit have Brass Lancashire on one side of the box and Brass Birmingham on the other side of the box. And they do fit in the deluxe box, by the way. But if anyone's up for any kind of game, whichever brass you want to play, I am down.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for hanging on the line with us tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
This has been fun.
This is a wonderful thing that's happening right now. I'm loving every single person's list put together. It's really, really good. Thank you for putting it together.
Yeah.
We have 3 left.
Yeah.
I believe we're going to end up calling in for our number 2. But before we get to our number 2, we got to go through our number 3. So we're going to say sayonara, Squirrel.
You guys have a good night.
And see you in the chat.
Yep.
In the meantime, we got to bring up Dr. J.
Yes.
And we got...
Who's no way nearing 50. Get out of there. Yeah, I still don't believe that. That's my biggest surprise of the night.
Well, number 3, I don't think is going to be a surprise to the people who have watched our channel for a while.
Okay.
Who are active in the Discord. This game is well liked. We knew this game was well liked.
I guess. I haven't guessed anything right yet.
But take a guess. This is a game that has been well liked.
Spots.
Oh
no, it's not Spots.
Try again. You got this. You got this.
You got
this. Boop. No. Try again. It's also got a silly name.
It has a silly name.
It's got
Yeah.
a sillier name.
And think Dr. J too.
It's got a sillier name than those. And it's also a game where a lot of people do those upgraded geek bits for. And it was on a previous
Quacks?
top 20. It is
Yes,
Quacks.
it is Quacks.
It is Quacks of Quedlinburg, which I think someone in the chat guessed that would be number 1, but it's number 3.
Yeah. It is the Quacks of Quedlinburg. Now, Quacks showing up on this list didn't surprise me. Now, if you did, now we didn't do this obviously, but the numbers certainly change a little bit if you start adding in all the crossovers and put them in. I want to point out we did not include those. Just if you see as a crossover, that those other lists you saw did not play into this.
Sure.
So that's an important piece to remember here. Quacks of Quedlinburg, a push your luck, game where I'm drawing out of a bag and hoping I don't get the wrong piece, with building these crazy, wacky potions that do all sorts of different things for scoring that can vary from game to game, highly replayable. It is one that I knew was going to be on his list.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was going to be on his list. It was just nice to see it on a bunch of other people's lists.
Yeah.
This showed up many, many times. And you could see it. Even Tyler's saying it was in his top 50 right there, number 31 on this
Number
list.
31.
Nice, very
So,
respectable.
Rachel's
Number 9.
pointing out number 9. So this is definitely a game that I love every time I play it. To the running joke was I was not ever winning it. Obviously, I finally broke that streak. But Anthony, you like this one a lot. It was on your list.
I think it was on my list last year too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it went up or down. I forget, but yeah, this, like, to your point, so much replayability. There's so many different ingredients, and there's so many different versions of each ingredient that you don't even necessarily have to play with the same set each time, right? You can kind of mix and match. I like how the rounds of the game add in extra ingredients as you go on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because those ones are not available the first couple of rounds. That kind of brings in and plays into your strategy a little bit. How do you want to build your bag? Do you want to pile up on mushrooms? Do you want to try to get those, those really high price ones, but they're going to move you 4 spots along the track? You get a few of those in a row without any, cherry bombs, and you're looking at a boatload of points. But you can very easily draw those extra, too many of those white ones too.
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of blow up.
And
So yeah,
which
it's
I have.
just a ton of
Yeah.
fun. Well, we all have.
Yeah.
We all have. It does have a catch-up mechanic with the rat tail thing that I is okay.
I don't think it works too well.
I don't think it works very well.
I think in
I
the
think
game
it's false hope.
Yeah, it is false.
It
hope.
is false hope, but I think in the long run in this game, I think you just, for the most part, and I know there's exceptions to it. I know there's people who played this and didn't have a great experience, but when it comes down to it, most people I played this really have liked it.
Yeah.
And enjoyed the experience. Dr. J mentioning he's played the Witches expansion.
Yep.
This is one I am happy to package. I have everything that fits in my main box.
Yeah.
I'm happy to bring this up to any of the stuff that we go to and set up a game.
I've actually only played the Witches expansion. I don't have the other one.
I like the Witches one, personally.
The Alchemist.
Alchemist.
Yeah,
right?
I like the Witches one better personally.
What I do like, though, is I like playing the B-side to the Cauldron in this game that has the extra droplet
yes.
track
Yeah, you
along
like
the
that?
bottom. I do like that.
Yeah.
It gives you just more things to go for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it. And I don't think it's too much to
Yeah.
throw in at
Yeah.
once.
And as I've noted, for those who haven't watched before, but I'll note it now, Dr. J and I've actually also played this virtually. So if you own a copy and someone else owns a copy, I really like the fact that you can do that.
Yeah.
You're literally just basically saying there's only X amount of this
Yeah.
ingredient left, just so you know.
Yeah.
And other than that, you can pretty much manage the game yourselves over a stream.
It is very luck driven. Squirrel is right. It is very luck driven.
Oh, yeah.
But if you know that going in, and that's your sort of thing, that's
Mhm.
for sure. Like, I like luck driven games for sure. Obviously,
Yeah.
Can't Stop is a very push your luck kind of thing, right?
Mhm.
Spots is what was mentioned before, and that's a very
Yeah.
push your luck thing. And Quacks is no different. Quacks is extremely push your luck.
But I was so thrilled that this made top 3. So it was great to see. And like I said, happy to bring this to any of the stuff that we're going to if anyone wants to do a game and play with the community.
Hey, would a better catch up? Not saying, look, I'm here to play games. I'm not here to create games. But would a better catch up be, in addition to the rat tails, you know how the player in the lead gets to roll the die?
Yeah.
What if the player's not in the lead roll the die? I don't know.
I
don't know.
I've never thought about it but yeah, there's plenty of questions there.
I don't know.
Time for that's
I'm here to
show.
design games.
Yeah.
I'm here to play them. And I'm here to bring on our next guest.
Yes. We got to bring in Dan because number 2 on our list is Dan's number 2. Callers
3 and 2 and 1. Hello, Dan.
Brilliant.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Hello.
Man, callers top 20.
Yes.
Number 2 is your number 2.
2 for 2.
I think me and Squirrel were the only ones that were true up on the number that we were picked for.
Yep.
I think so. I think and it's funny. So originally that's how I had it listed, where it was just people like their number to number, and it was just 2. That technically no, it was 3, and then there was a miscount on 1 because there was like what was it duplicate entry?
Oh, because some of the entries duplicated in the Excel
Yeah.
sheet when I had done it out, so we had to remove the one. Yeah. Though, can I give a fun fact before we move on? Scroll down.
Oh, scroll down. What happened?
I just want to point out. Ironically, I believe it was just one. That was the only one with 2 votes for number 1.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
that's hilarious.
just one had 2.
40 points exactly.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if it had 40 points exactly. Other people said it.
Oh,
But
okay.
It was the only one with 2 number 1s.
Yeah.
No one else, no other game had 2 number 1s. So, but yeah, Dan, let's talk about your number 2. You want to intro it?
So I'm hoping I'm remembering this right, but this is definitely a game that was new to me this year. As you all know, I like a good deal when I buy games. I got this one on Target clearance for about $27. Had a gift card on top of that. Went home, played it 2-player, immediately liked it. I'm like, I'm going to like this no matter what player count. I played it 5 times since at full player count, teaching it to anyone I can. Dune Imperium.
That's it.
There it is.
Dune Imperium. I put my deluxe ones in there. You like that?
That's something that I'm going to need. I need to
not
deluxify
Target
this.
clearance.
This is one that
Dune Imperium.
This one just is one that comes with me every time the game day from now on. And when you're at that stage where, the groups are deciding what games you can play, you're like, I got this, and you're like, I got Doom. You give it the big presentation because, that's the one you want to play, but you don't want to force people to play with you. But I mean, I was always a big Arnak fan. So the whole worker placement, deck building, that style. And then I've always heard that if you like Arkham, you're going to like, or Arnak, you're going to like Dune, and you're going to like Endless Winter. So got Dune and just loved it, and it shot past Arnak for me. And that's even without the expansions. I want to get to the point with this game where I'm tired of it normal, then bring the expansions in. That's how much I enjoy
So
it.
you haven't played with the expansions at all?
Nope.
Oh, man.
Purposefully.
Yeah. It'll shoot it up for you. The expansions are great. I really like both of them.
Partly
still haven't
because I
done
haven't done a
Uprising.
deal with them yet. But
No, well, they might. I mean, with Uprising out, who knows, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't done Uprising yet, though. I've heard so many great things about Uprising, but Dune Imperium is a fantastic game for sure. It's very epic. It's a deck builder, worker placement kind of thing. And I think that was the same year too as Arnak. It was Arnak and Dune Imperium, both cut from the same cloth,
mm-hmm.
I ended up selling my copy just because you have all the.
Yeah, you don't need it.
I didn't need it all, but it was one I definitely in my limited plays of it. I really appreciate it. I like the work that Paul does.
Yeah,
as a whole. So that I think was part of it. I trust the designer in this case, and the world of Dune. I find the games more interesting than the actual movie world. Sorry to people who really like the movie.
That's okay.
But I find
you could be wrong.
I could be wrong. I could be right too. But the game I for me was I just it hit all the right tones. So and I like the world thematically.
Okay.
So
well, I mean, the theme really does not come through with this game.
No, but I'm just saying that was thematic's not the word. The IP.
Sure.
The IP itself, I appreciate, even if I maybe think it's a dull background on a screen for me, even though it looks visually beautiful, but on a board with these game mechanics, I think it's a perfect storm.
So, of the 2 expansions, which do you guys recommend I get first?
Get whichever is on sale. I think both are pretty solid, to be honest. Like they both have different trade-offs. I mean, look, because I say this because I've actually only played the game with the expansions, with both expansions included. I never played with one or the other. I played always with both in.
Mm-hmm.
And they both offer some great things. Like there's a whole
and they play well together.
They play super well together, So there's a whole separate tracks. And
are they done with this game though? With the
no, Dune Imperium Uprising is out, which is like a standalone expansion.
Right, but I just mean they're not adding. That's a standalone that plays with it. So that's why I wasn't sure where that one stood.
Yeah, so. And Immortality. That's the one that has. That's the most recent one. And that's the one that I think I would prefer that one too, because I like, so Immortality lets you purchase cards with your troops as opposed to with money. So there's a whole separate research track you can go down to get different benefits as well. So I think that is some pretty neat stuff there too. Mm-hmm. And then of course with the upgrade kit, you get the cool miniatures and the nice insert and.
This is where he regrets asking or calling in and yeah. And now we know what he's gonna do when he logs off. So
I'll be scouring some websites for.
You could. There could be some disgruntled Dune fan that is very upset about Dune Imperium Uprising coming out, and like, why I had everything, and they might sell it off, and then you get to pick it up.
Well, as long as he's within a reasonable driving distance, I'll follow up.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Standards met.
Awesome.
But that's your number 2 was Callers.
Did I miss some people too? So hang on, I saw some stuff about Dune. Lots of praise for Dune. So many Dune games, including this one. So many good Dune games.
Yeah.
Tyler's bringing up to the Gale Force 9 version is my number 3. I still haven't played that, and because that game was long, like that was the Avalon Hill one in the 70s that was so woefully out of print and so epic.
And then they brought it back.
Yeah. So yeah, I have that. Sky Larson's in the chat. I've only played the follow-up game, but I really enjoyed it. So Uprising, Squirrel preferring Uprising now with Rise of Ix. Yeah. He dislikes Immortality. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, look at that. Plug in the Etsy.
You can definitely invest a lot of money into this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a solid game for sure. So not a fan one bit about Uprising. There you go.
There we go.
So, take it with your grain of spice. See what I did there?
I like it.
Thank you.
Well, Dan, thank you. Appreciate you participating in this, and it's so great to see, like I said, all these different games. I think that means we have one to go. So we will say thanks for being here. Send you back to the chat, and I believe we have to announce the number 1. That means
number 1.
Take it easy. Right. Thank you very much.
Hey, Dan.
Bye, Dan.
Have a great night, Dan.
Go Birds.
Before we do this. Let us reorder. Not reorder, but let's show
our 20 was Dominion. Hang on. Dan, give me the heave ho. There you go.
Bye, Dan.
20 is Dominion. 19, Ashes Reborn. 18, Just One. 17, Barenpark. 16, Crokinole. 15, Burgle Bros 1 and 2.
Yep.
14, Battlestar Galactica. 13, Too Many Bones. 12, Targi. 11, Cascadia. 10, Arkham Horror the card game. 9, Food Chain Magnate. 8, Cthulhu Death May Die. 7, Age of Steam. 6, Ark Nova. 5, Pax Pamir 2nd Edition. 4, Brass Birmingham. 3, The Quacks of Quedlinburg. 2, Dune Imperium. And number 1, go on and guess in the chat.
Yeah.
Go on and guess.
We have. Let's see. I did see a question. If there's a chance to push full compiled list, I can put together the full list of what all the games are for everybody in the Discord, so you can see them in alphabetical order of whatever game was.
And the madness.
Yeah,
The madness behind it.
ensues.
Yeah,
You know what it is. I know what it is. What are you guessing towards?
Castles of Burgundy.
Castles of Burgundy is a great guess, but it's not Castles of Burgundy. And I was expecting Castles of Burgundy. So I was expecting Castles of Burgundy to be on this list somewhere because of how many crossovers it had in our top.
Yes.
That's why I
period.
guessed it.
Yeah, it's not Castles of Burgundy, and I'm just gonna let it out for people right now. The game that surprised me that was not on this list, but I know it's in probably most people's maybe it's in most people's top 50s, but not the top 20s. It just got said by someone, actually.
Lupin Louis.
Well, that's not what I was
No way.
thinking.
Oh, donuts.
It's not donuts.
Uno. Heat.
It's
Spots.
Is it spots? I think we should just show it now. We got some guesses.
All right,
It's
we'll
Bert.
show it.
It's Bert's number
Actually,
one hole.
one person did guess it right. Scrolling back up, maybe Arnak is number 1.
And
That's
that's correct.
Lost Ruins of
The
Arnak
Lost Runes.
was number 1.
Hmm.
So let me bring that up. I only have one picture of a Lost Ruins of Arnak, by the way.
Wow, that's kind of it's. I want to note before we just do that too that Spots didn't make it. No, but I know everyone loved Spots, but it just wasn't in top 20s.
Yeah,
that's just all it was. It was not a top 20 game for people. It was a game everyone loved. That.
Yeah.
So
it's so funny that Arnak is number 1 and Dune Imperium is number 2 with how similar and the same year they came out.
When were we just talking about this game on stream? But this was on somebody's list, was it?
I think this.
A couple minutes ago.
No. Arnak, I mean.
Yeah.
No, earlier, before today.
Yeah, hold on one sec here.
I'm not sure.
Because we were talking about how he was talking about how it gave off Indiana Jones vibes. And
Oh yes, you're correct. I remember that.
I don't remember. I don't remember
So
why
is it
that
my
was.
list? Is it not? It's
Not
not
up there though.
Yeah,
Was it on your list?
Yeah, I forgot which number it was though.
Oh my goodness.
But anyways,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, but no. Here's the thing about Arnak. Lost Ruins of Arnak, and I do like it with the. I want to be very clear that I think with the asymmetric characters, I think this game shines because I like that. Yeah. I enjoyed the base version quite a bit, and the base version was a big deal to me, quite frankly, when I first played it. But it was that asymmetric character piece that started to let me really appreciate this game. Plus, it added more research tracks. It added some variety to the game that I thought was necessary. I understand why people really do like this because I obviously really like it, and it's one of those things that the game is very much about that research track. More than anything, you've got to be able to move up the research track. But how do you get what you need to go up that research track is kind of the puzzle you're trying to figure out as you're playing this game. And that's why I think those asymmetric characters, those abilities, those are huge. I have not played, I will note, and I don't think you've played it either, the co-op version.
Nope.
Because we got the co-op version, but we never played it. Correct. So I can't speak to that. But I know people love this one. I think it's also very easy to get a game going because you can play it online. So Board Game Arena and other places. So I know some people have played a lot of it there as well. But I wasn't surprised to see it on the list because I knew a lot of people.
Well, the thing is, it came out on so many lists, right? It was no one's number 1.
No one's
number 1. The highest it was at, I don't think it was actually 9. It was number 4.
Yeah,
it was the highest. It was at number 4 for Chewy Huey.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. It was number 3 for Squirrel, which he probably is saying in the chat right now.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, it was number 3 for Squirrel, and then number 4, for Eddie. So it's one of those games where so many people liked it to include it in their top 20 that it makes sense that it would be in there. And Lost Ruins of Arnak, even though it came out the same time as Dune Imperium, it still was exciting enough. I was very disappointed with you just got to focus on the research track.
There was a lot of hype for this
of
game.
it. There was a lot of hype. There was a lot of hype, but I still think it's an enjoyable worker placement deck builder for a couple of reasons. The first is that you never get additional workers.
Yes.
And I
do not
appreciate that because, in worker placements, generally, the more workers you have, the more placements you could place, right? So making sure there's no limit, there's a limit to that is important because most of the time you're focusing on that deck, and then in seldom you're adding them, out to the board. So I think it handles that extremely well. And the asynchronous powers.
And by the way, this did
Yeah.
drop for me. This was my number 12.
Yeah.
So it had dropped. So I do think, I don't know if I got, because to your point with the research track and thing that was such a heavy focus, and maybe solvable to some extent. Maybe that's why I think that's kind of why it dropped a little bit for me, but I really love it as a game, and I definitely enjoy it. So one that would be happy to put on the table anytime. But
I hear you people that say Dune Imperium is better. I am with you. But I cannot agree with Endless Winter. My ranking is Dune Imperium, Lost Ruins of Arnak, the Dune Popcorn Bucket, and then Endless Winter is my ranking official.
Dan says we should adjust the stats with the Tabletop Express lists and see what it turns into.
There you go.
We could add our numbers in and see what that turns into. If that's something people are interested in, happy to put a little time into that.
But we're back to normal programming. This was the conclusion, penultimate finale.
Yeah.
Penultimate finale?
No, it's just the finale.
Second to last.
It's just the finale.
Ultimate finale.
The ultimate finale.
I told you words I'm still working on.
What was 21?
Okay, what was 21? I have the whole list. All right. So I'm just going to keep them saying names. You ready? Here we go. It is Galaxy Trucker, Lucky Numbers, Obsession, Paperback Adventures, Return to Dark Tower, the Undaunted Series, Isle of Skye, Marvel Champions, Robot Quest Arena, Cockroach Poker, Marvel United, Sea Salt and Paper, Spots. So we got the spots.
Okay.
Yeah, there were spots.
Star Wars Outer Rim, Istanbul, Rolling Realms, Root, Scout, Nemesis, Revive, Rococo. I'll stop at Rococo.
I will definitely put the full list out there. I mean, but for everybody, we have shout outs, just some names that I want to throw out there that did.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah, that was there. We have Thanos Rising on here, Monikers, Concordia. I'm just reading the most random ones as I scroll down here. Tiny Epic Galaxies actually had a few picks in this list. The
Halls of Hegra was there.
Halls of Hegra was on the list.
Thank you, Tyler.
Rococo, 21 Moon,
Mage Knight,
Bullet,
Seven Wonders Duel,
Dinosaur World, Blood Rage, Carcassonne's on here.
There's a lot of good games. We'll share it on the Discord.
Yeah, but the point is a ton. I could scroll for a while here. That is the conclusion, though, of this top 20 series. Really had a great time doing it. Want to thank everyone for participating. We'll come back with some additional announcements of what's coming in the weeks to come. But remember, end of the month, call aboard. It's our What's on Your Table edition. Definitely some reviews forthcoming because we didn't get to do any reviews in April.
Yeah,
so
it's been a while.
So we're gonna have some double down on some reviews there, and get ready to come share your favorite game experience of this month. And I guess technically last month too, because whatever, just come talk about games.
Talk about games.
Come call in next week. Call Dashboard. On that note, thank you everyone.
There you go.
America's team.
I had the better shirt anyways, but just saying. It's a bigger song shirt. Have a great night, everybody. We're coming aboard Tabletop Express.
There you go.
Bye.